Hello everyone and welcome to Low Budget Otaku, and today we're revisiting Fate Stay Night. Not too long ago I reviewed this figure of Saber that was actually trash! And today we're looking at another FAKEma. This time it's Archer from the same show, the original Fate Stay Night. Now Figma clearly has a hard-on for the Fate series, but I don't mind, the figures are great. So let's see if this FAKEma can actually live up to the original or if it is another disappointment. Let's start that intro.
Follow me. I'll cover you.
Now if you watch my unboxing, you know that one of the swords was actually missing on the original packaging, but then the seller sent me and it was all okay. So let's start seeing the contents of this figure and how it matches up with the original. Again, the box brings everything that you are used to with the Figma boxes, except for that little sticker that normally tells you that it is the original being sold outside of Japan, and the box texture is much better than the last bootleg of Saber that I got, so the box itself is good. So let's take a look at what the figure brings. We have this little sword that works as an arrow. Actually, the detail on painting on this thing is amazing. You could not tell it was the work for a bootleg because everything looks really nice. So good painting, good sharpness. Actually, very surprised. I expected this to have some paint problems. We have the bow and arrow. It comes very good. Great conditioning. Again, I wouldn't say that this was a bootleg one, but also that doesn't need very much detail. Now this sword, you can see some dents there. It's good, but yeah, you have those little two dents on this side that kind of tell you that could be better. This one is much better actually. No problems with the second sword. Now this thing that holds the hands, you can actually not hold the hands. Here you can see that, especially these older bootlegs, oh my god, the hands are always a bit problematic, but you have those two open hands. We have the hand to hold the arrow that you can just plug in. Now you're going to see some problems later on with holding the arrow because it will give a lot of weight to the ball peg of the hand that is of course not as strong as the original one. Then you have these two grabby hands that can grab the sword or in this case the arrow. I actually had to cut the space between the hands because it came with extra plastic on it, so I had to give a little cut there so that I could put the arrow on. So yeah, a little bit of a problem that bootlegs come with. Now we have an extra ball peg, so this is good because again the ball pegs are not as good as the original. Now this stand is exactly the same, but it doesn't bring the Figma logo. And then you have this extra part that you don't have in all of the other Figmas that I have that allows for some different poses. And then you have of course the same plastic part to adapt to his back that we had in other Figmas. So yeah, there you go, that's the way you do it. So you can actually use that little extra part to pose them on the air. Now this part is not supposed to come out. It broke because every time I tried to change the peg, it would hit that part and I broke both sides of it. But I can make it fit so it be in the pose, but yeah, it will come off if I try to mess with it. Now the face is much harder to take off than some of the other Figmas that I have, originals or bootlegs. But yeah, he has two faces, a normal serious face and a screaming face. Now in the shoulders we also have some dents there. I actually thought about sending them, but I'm a bit afraid. And that little peg, you know, the color, I don't know what happened there. So I'm a bit afraid that that peg is actually a bit compromised. The facts that this figure has, you know, those little guards, some of those num marks, and some paint problems. Also, there's kind of an asymmetric thing about his torso, that from the left side is actually looks bigger than from his right side. You know, in the waist, are you noticing? Please, if you have the original, tell me in the comment section below if the original also has that asymmetric look.
And now comes the interesting part. Let your fingers get in there and have a good old rub-a-dub.
Okay, to show you a little bit more about this detail, I'm going to actually remove the upper torso so you can have a better look at what's wrong with this waist. It's kind of weird angle-ish thing, because in some angles it does look right, but then in others it just looks iffy. So I removed the... oh, I actually removed it wrong. So what I did, I actually divided the friggin' ball peg. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. But yeah, that can happen. So actually maybe use a dryer, because that's what I actually did later on. I reconnected the two parts of the ball hinge. It is a ball hinge that connects the torso, so it's not a ball peg, it is a ball hinge that is connecting the torso, and mostly I think that's what Figma normally uses. So I reconnected the torso, and I'm going to give up now. So okay, I fixed the torso, that damn thing is done. So we have the typical Figma joint for the head that allows us to great range of motion. Then for the shoulder is a bit limited, but it is a ball hinge connected, I think, to a ball peg, but I'm not sure. It's just a ball hinge at this time. Then we have that little hinge circle thing that they use for the, but again that one is worrying me a bit. Then we have ball hinges for the hands. So we cannot actually push the arm forward because of the jacket, but then we have that ball hinge in the waist. I messed a bit up because I tried to fix it and I managed to fix it, but I created a bit of gap because I hadn't used the dryer yet. But again, that asymmetric waist, it kills me. But then we have waist swivel, so you have another ball hinge there, and we have two hinges on this jacket. And his legs are a bit limited. It doesn't move too much forward and too much back because of the crutch part. It doesn't spread too much either because again of the crutch part. It is kind of solid. He can swivel in the thighs. He can have again a knee band, and it's actually very solid legs. Much more solid than, for example, Saber or Gilgamesh. Of a toe band, everything is working fine in terms of articulation, but again the joints are not as solid as the originals, so be careful because it will affect some posability. In general, the posability is good, but with some limitations, some from the original figure design, some from the fact that it is a FAKEma. Now you ask, what about the size? Figma Gilgamesh. Figma Ra. Figma Ra. No one cares. Revoltech Vesta Stampede. Playart Sky Tifa Lockhart. I was a bit divided with this figure, but I'm actually not giving it my low budget otaku seal of approval. And the decision was not easy to make because overall I actually think the figure looks great. Unfortunately, I think the dents and those problems with the sleeve guards ended up deciding against the figure, because overall the painting is good, the sculpting is good, the articulation is actually good. It is not a disaster like Saber, so you can actually still get this figure and be satisfied with it in the shelf. Now if I was a huge fan of Fate Stay Night, I'll probably get the original, But because I'm not, I'm happy enough with this KO.
Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, my brothers. Comment down below for the queen.
See you next time.
This land is made of love